These are the 5 steps to get your knee down. Step 1, body position. Chin, chest, stomach, all have GoPros. You all want to get all that stuff to the inside of the motorcycle, so you look something like this. Not too much butt, not too less, not only upper body, not only lower body. The whole package, the whole body off the center line of the motorcycle, so you look something just like this. Butt back, butt forward, whatever your preference is. All right, step 2 is your vision. Whenever you're going around the circle, you have a 40 or 50 foot diameter circle set up. This is a 30 foot diameter. So say you're right here, I'm looking. You want to look to where you want to be going. You don't want to be staring down at the cones in front of you. Try to look opposite of where you are, as if someone is running opposite from where you are going. And you only use your peripheral vision to manage the distance between yourself and the cones. Step 3 is throttle control. You want to be nice, steady throttle. So I just found out I'm in first gear when I'm doing this, 30 foot diameter circle. I'm going 16 miles per hour with that much speed, steady throttle. You don't want to be going on and off the throttle. So step 1, be able to go around the circle with the steady throttle as if you're on cruise control. Next is your timing. So step 4 is your timing. When you get your body position all set up early, get it set up earlier before you start to lean, and turn your head before you turn the bike. So an easy way to remember it is like body, head, bike. So body off to the inside, turn your head, and then the bike leans. That's how you learn it in an environment like this. Like if you're on a track where this is really relevant, it's a little bit different. I have other videos about that, but this is just how to learn it, say in a parking lot or maybe your first track day. It's an easy way to learn it by set everything up early. But if you do the right thing at the wrong time, it's still wrong. So if you start to lean the bike and like, oh yeah, bike position, and you jump off the bike, it's just gonna upset the suspension. And if you're going down the straightaway and you start to move your whole body off too, that also doesn't make sense. So it's just the timing at what you do. But the main thing is have your body set up prior to the bike leaning for right now in this environment. Finally, the 5th step is speed. So this is the last thing to worry about. Until you have your good vision, consistent circles, steady throttle, and good body position, don't worry about speed. Just go 10 miles per hour on the circle until that's all good. Then you slowly add speed with the right body position, still consistent, steady throttle, and eventually you'll add a little bit more speed, which adds lean angle. If you go around the same corner at faster speeds, you have to lean more to make it. So start off slow, everything is good. If you start going faster and your vision and throttle gets jacked up, go back to going slow. You're not ready yet. But once all the other 4 elements are good, then you add a little bit more speed, knee down will happen. And obviously have appropriate gear, have knee sliders, have a good, clean, grippy parking lot, right? And go out there and practice. So I'm gonna go through a whole bunch of left and right variations, different speeds, and just show you the way to practice this. And I recommend only going left first to start, and maybe 1 or 2 circles at the most, then kind of go somewhere else and reset and then come back at it. Don't just go around in circles forever, you just get dizzy. So check it out. So I was just looking at my vision, steady throttle, but I was only going 12, 13 miles per hour, so I wasn't leaning enough and actually to be able to get my knee down. That's fine. That's how you start. That's how you should look for like the first, I don't know, 20 tries you even do this. You're just going at an easy speed, working on the fundamentals first. Body position, vision, timing, right? Your throttle control. Now I'll add a little bit of speed and let's see what happens. That time I touched my knee down a couple times, but I was inconsistent, so I was going on the throttle, off the throttle, on the throttle. So whenever I'm making those slow adjustments, my vision a little bit off, it'll make the bike stand up and go wide, then I have to lean it again. So it's just an issue of throttle control and vision, right? So that's usually where people get frustrated, because now the circle, it starts to be like this as you're going around it. So that's what that demonstration was, right? I still got my knee down, but it wasn't consistently around, right? So let's do it again. So that's what you want to be able to get to eventually. Your knee goes on the ground, it stays on the ground for 1 entire lap. It does not come off at all. And if your knee touches, it's probably going to freak you out at first, but there's actually no weight either. Once you get the right lean angle, like here's your knee, once you get to the lean angle and it touches down, you're not pressing down hard, it's just a slight skim across the surface. And I recommend once you get comfortable going left, only then go to the right. So let's check out the right. So working on my vision, steady throttle, trying to figure out where I'm going, trying to be consistent circles, slower speed. That's step one, do what I just did. Okay, once I get that comfortable, a couple weeks later, a couple months later, I get good at that. Now, finally, the last, you add a little bit more speed. And you practice, and get to the point, knees touches at the ground, stays on the ground for one complete lap. And then, you just have one circle. Then the real fun begins where you put two circles kind of apart. Then you can do figure eights. Now you got to work on transitions, which is a whole different ball game because you're going from one side of the bike to the other side of the bike. The timing of all that stuff is crazy. But first, just good at one circles. And now I'm just going to go through and just kind of play around. And this is how I do to warm up and how I play around if I'm starting to do knee down stuff. Left, right, stand up, sit down, just playing around. Check it out. Last thing to keep in mind, I've been knee dragging one-handed with the passenger and doing this stuff for like the last 5 years. So please don't think you're gonna watch the video and go practice for 20 minutes and do this. You might get your knee down, followed by your elbow and your shoulder and your head and everything else. So take your time and understand it takes a while to practice and get good at this stuff. This is just a demonstration of literally 8 years of me doing this stuff all the time. So warm tires, good traction, good grip, full protective gear, and start slowly. Get out there and practice. Get out there and practice. I don't want to hear any excuses. Oh, my bike is this, my bike's heavy, my bike is that. I don't care what your excuses are.